We conclude our analysis of the four psukim from Pashas Kisavai with the pasuk Vayotzienu Hashem miMitzrayim. Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim biyad chazaka, with a mighty hand, v'zroya netuya, with an outstretched arm, uvemoira gadol, and with great awesomeness, uveoisos, and with signs, uvemoifsim, and with wonders. And when we look at this pasuk, we focus specifically on what the pasuk says, Vayotzienu Hashem miMitzrayim. Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim, which we understand to mean that when it came to the final stages of the redemption, Hashem himself was involved, with no messengers, no intermediaries, no middlemen. Hashem himself came by Makas Bechayros, and Hashem passed through Mitzrayim and killed out all the firstborns of the Egyptians. And then after that, when it was finally time for the Jewish people to actually leave Mitzrayim, Vayotzienu Hashem miMitzrayim, Hashem himself, no messengers, no intermediaries, came and took the Jewish people out of Mitzrayim. And the Shimshon Pincus points out something about the story of the 10 plagues, which is indeed quite peculiar. He says, if we look at the story of the 10 plagues, Hashem starts off sending Moshe Rabbeinu to go to Parai and to tell him in the name of Hashem to let the Jewish people go free. And indeed, Moshe goes to Parai and he tells him, Hashem said to let the Jewish people go free, don't enslave them anymore, let them go as they wish. And what does Parai respond? Parai responds, he says, I don't know anything about Hashem, and I will not let the Jewish people go free. And the story goes on that Hashem tells Moshe to go again to Parai, to do all sorts of signs and miracles in front of him. He tells him to go start the plagues, with the plague of blood, and then the frogs, and so on and so forth, plague by plague. Moshe goes to Parai, and the story seems to repeat itself over and over again. Again, Moshe comes to Parai and brings a plague, and again, Parai says, nothing doing, I'm not letting the Jewish people go, I'm keeping them as my slaves. Until we get to Makas Bechayros. We come to Makas Bechayros, the plague of the firstborn, which is the final plague. And there, Moshe Rabbeinu himself is not involved anymore in bringing about the plague. Rather, Hashem himself comes, passes through Mitzrayim, and kills out all the firstborn all by himself. Lo yal yidei malach, lo yal yidei sorof, lo yal yidei shliach. Hashem himself, without any intermediaries, without any messengers, himself carries out the plague of the firstborn. And that indeed is what the final step, the final thing that actually brings out the redemption. And the question that Rabbi Pincus asks is, if Moshe was going to go every time and it wasn't going to yield any results, Parai was going to keep on refusing, what was the point? And Hashem sending Moshe all these times to go to Parai and to bring about the plagues and to tell him that the Jewish people go free. If at the end of the day, it was only Hashem himself who could actually bring about the redemption, why did Hashem send Moshe time and time again? And Shimshon Pincus tells us there's a very important lesson that we have to learn from here. And that is that we have to realize, both in our service of Hashem and in also other more mundane tasks that we do in life, we have to realize that our responsibility is only the effort. We only have to try. We have to try our best and do all that we can. But at the end of the day, success is in the hands of Hashem. Whether we'll be successful or not, at the end of the day, come down to Hashem. If Hashem, after all our effort, wants us to be successful, He'll make us successful. And if after all our effort Hashem doesn't want us to be successful, then we won't be successful. Moshe Rabbeinu had to go time and time to Parai. That was his effort. That's what Hashem told him to do. That was his ishtadlos. That was his trying. He tried the best that he could, and he went time and again. And Parai didn't listen. But after enough times of Moshe going, Hashem, he came and he took care of it. The success was in the hands of Hashem. Hashem carried out that final step and made the success happen. And this is an idea that the Chovos HaLevavos in the Shar Cheshbon HaNefesh in the third perek, in the Oifen Ha'osem Ve'echad, the 21st section, he discusses this idea and he takes it one step further. He tells us that after a person has worked and tried to fulfill his potential, to do all that he can with his abilities, he tells us, and then Yishtadel la'alois l'dargois lo'isofos b'avodas Hashem she'in l'malam yicholtoi. He should try to go up to even higher levels of service of Hashem, even that which is above and beyond what he's really capable of. And when we look at that at first, it seems very odd. What does that mean for a person to go and try to do more than what he's capable of? We understand he should do what he's capable of. How is a person expected to try to do more than what he's capable of? But once we understand that success is only in the hands of Hashem and is only incumbent upon us to try and to put in the effort, then we understand very well a person has to yearn and try all that he can to do to serve Hashem as best as possible on the highest level that he can. So therefore, once we understand that all that's up to us is to do the efforts, then we should put in effort to do more than what you're capable of. Put in the effort, try more to do more and more and more, even what you think you're not capable of. At the end of the day, success is in the hands of Hashem, and if you put in the effort and you try to do even more than what you're capable of, Hashem will give you the ability to be successful.